Meet Brian Jacks, a former judo champion who's best known for winning Britain's first bronze medal at the World Championships in Salt Lake City in 1967 and a second bronze at the Munich Olympics in 1972. Now, he's living a simple life in Pattaya, a popular coastal town in Thailand, to where he retired over 24 years ago. His first visit to Thailand was quite unexpected. Brian was going to fly from Japan back to London, but his flight was redirected to Bangkok instead due to technical issues with the plane.
Having done judo all my life, I trained in Japan quite a few times. I went to the Olympics in Japan in 1964, and after the Olympics I went back to Japan many times for training, just to get better at the sport. And one particular year, it was 1971, late 71, I flew back from Japan and the plane landed in Thailand. And they told us that we might have to stay here overnight because there was a technical problem with the plane. So they took us to a hotel. And once I got to the hotel in Bangkok, they said that it would be 2 nights because they're sending another aeroplane from Great Britain to take us back. Anyway, so I stayed in the hotel for 2 nights, went around Tokyo, went around Bangkok, saw the Sleeping Buddha and many different things of interest in Bangkok, and I came down to Pattaya and there was nothing here. I wanted to go to the seaside really. I came down here, there was nothing here. It was very, very empty and very blank. And then I flew back to England when the new aeroplane came, and from that time onwards I always thought it was very similar to Japan. But much more friendly, the people were more friendly, and I always wanted to come back. It was something, I always wanted to come back here because it was a lovely atmosphere and I really enjoyed my time here.
20 years after his first visit, Brian returned to Thailand for a holiday. After going back and forth over 12 times, 3 months on each stay, he eventually decided to retire here. Like many other expats who have chosen to retire in Thailand, the top reasons are the constantly warm and sunny weather throughout the year and the friendliness of the Thai people. Additionally, the cost of living is relatively less than in their home countries. Thailand is ranked 9th among the world's best places to retire and is considered the best country to retire to in Southeast Asia, according to the annual Global Retirement Index 2023.
The people seemed, I don't know, it seemed a lot more friendly really. People, the Thai people at that time seemed to want to know you and, help you and so on. So, and the weather was nice. The Bangkok was very intriguing. I liked all the different things we saw, the Buddha Mountain and all these different places. And that was basically it. I just fell in love with Thailand back then. So I had to come back. I came back about 12 times and went backwards and forwards before I moved here.
Brian currently runs his own apartment building in Pattaya, accommodating more than 60 foreign retirees from various countries, including the United Kingdom, the United States, Germany and Australia. Among the retirees is Terry, a former specialist nurse who's been retired in Thailand for several months. Having visited Dubai many times before coming to Thailand, Terry felt comfortable retiring away from his home country. He explains that living in Pattaya is more financially viable for him compared to the UK, where the government imposes taxes on its citizens for almost everything. In fact, he's already sold his house back in the UK and his family have gone their separate ways.
Two reasons. One, I wanted to do something before I die different, okay? And the second thing is, it is very easy to live here from a financial point of view and the weather. In England, winter is horrendously bad. Where I come from, it is really, it's on the northeast coast of England, which is facing the North Sea, and it is very cold. The English government seem to want to tax everybody to the limit, to the absolute limit. Even when you die and you have money, they still tax you. Inheritance tax. If you have properties in England, they tax you. They tax everything.
Quality healthcare is among the numerous reasons why many expats choose to retire in Thailand. Private hospitals in particular offer a wide range of facilities for the rehabilitation of elderly patients. Not all elderly citizens in Thailand, however, have equal access to quality healthcare, despite the country's status as an aging society.
The weakness is about the access. How these elderly people get the access to the medical care, because generally speaking, in Thai, when they want to go to the hospital, usually they cannot go by themselves. They need some help, one way or the other, to take care them from home to the hospital, at the same time to navigating in the hospital, because if you go to the big hospital, then you can get lost easily. You don't know where to go or what to the people to asking. And that making the elderly people really afraid to go to the hospital. If they're not really sick, then probably they don't want to go there. We would need to set up some kind of thing that making these elderly people access to the healthcare easier, either some help over the public transportations that comply to the disabled people, the handicapped people. That is very important for the government to put all this effort for the public transport that can be accessed from everyone.
Even though foreign retirees can access quality healthcare in Thailand, Brian typically advises potential retirees to obtain health insurance coverage to handle their medical expenses. Aspects which could be made more convenient from their perspective are the regulations. According to the Thai Immigration Bureau, foreigners on a retirement visa are required to report to immigration officials every 90 days. They also need financial evidence that they have at least 800,000 baht in their bank accounts, or possess a pension certificate with a monthly income of at least 65,000 baht. Many retirees believe that these requirements should be modified to make retirement in Thailand more accessible for foreigners. Additionally, they feel that the government could have introduced more incentives, especially in the healthcare sector, to attract foreigners to retire in the country.
The only thing is with the bank, because that 800,000 baht has got to stay there as basically as dead money, right? So maybe they could say, instead of having 800,000 baht in the bank, just prove that you've got health insurance to stay here, right? Which, you know, and if you renew that every year, that is enough to say, well, I'm willing to stay here because I've just paid a lot of money for health insurance here. But I can understand the government's point of view that it's like a guarantee that we will not just leave at a moment's notice.
While living expenses in the resort town are not exorbitant, Brian recommends that potential retirees have some savings before relocating to Thailand, as medical fees in most private hospitals can still be expensive for foreigners.
Providing you've got enough savings to stay here, which is probably the most important thing, and providing you can care for yourself healthcare wise, which we've talked about, then come, because I mean, if I want to play badminton, for instance, it's very cheap. You know, it's not expensive. If whatever I want to do is very easy to do, very cheap and very inexpensive. And the facilities, I mean, some of the boys, when you came here today, they were just off swimming. And they go to the swimming pool, they only pay like 20 baht, and they do 50, 60 lengths of the pool, and they enjoy the fact that the facility is very, very nice. And generally speaking, everything like it is here is the same. You know, it's very inexpensive, very easy to do. The weather's always very kind to you. You're very lucky you have lovely weather here.
Even though there are many issues that could be improved to ensure a better quality of life for the elderly, Brian still believes that Thailand is a retirement paradise for foreigners.
Yes, definitely 100%. There's no question about it. For all the good points that we've talked about and the few bad points, if you weigh the whole thing up, yes, it's a fantastic place to come, because all day long you have nice weather, you have beautiful food, you know, lovely people, there's lovely places to visit. It's such a nice country.